Hey, everybody, and welcome to Reality Unloaded Podcast. It's your girl, Feeks.
I'm Lena.
And I'm Brandon.
And tonight we are going to be covering the challenge season 40, episode 11, Payback Era. And baby, this episode, it was mildly spicy, a little spicy May-ish. Nothing too crazy, in my opinion. How did y'all feel about this episode overall, comparison to last episodes where there was like a lot going on?
I mean, I feel like Bananas provided all the drama this episode. I mean, if it wasn't for Bananas, it would have been a whole snooze. So
Agreed. Bananas was the drama queen of the episode. And it made me remember why I enjoy watching Bananas on my TV screen because, again, he's entertainment. So,
correct.
Yeah, Bananas was doing what he needed to do. I was very just like, this is what Bananas is casted for. He's going to provide, stir up the pot. We knew that was happening. And before we get started, just want to say hey to everybody. Hey, Sophie Dophie. Sophie, you haven't watched the episode. Girl, get on it. Get on it, Sophie.
We got you, girl.
Bloody Money. Hey, Bloody.
Hi.
Happy Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday, Sophie. Hey, Crystal. Thank you for coming through.
Hi.
Whose side are you guys on, Tori or Bananas?
I think they both have valid points. I don't know that I pick a side. I think they both have very valid points, but
yeah.
Agreed.
Bananas called out everyone's ish this episode. It was great.
Yes, right. I heard your favorite girl
wasn't
got
lying.
eliminated. Yeah, she did. We gonna talk about it, Yeah, it's sad. Naya got eliminated. I was very sad to see her go. She was entertainment, and I know that she was just there, to politic and all that, and be a leisurely lady. But I just appreciated Naya's presence in the house, so it is unfortunate that she's gonna be out. But without further ado, thank you guys again for showing up and showing out in the comments. As always, keep that going throughout the live. Make sure to hit that like button, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to leave a comment later on, whether you agree or disagree with our comments. Just let us know. It helps us get pushed out there. And again, thank you guys for supporting. So without further ado, we're going to get right into this episode. So we start the first half. They're walking back into the mansion, castle, whatever you want to call it. And Tori's talking about that there's a major divide. There's now the Angels, the Bananas Angels, and then whatever you want to call Tori's Vacation Alliance and their side people. And then, which is great. I'm happy that the house is divided now. We needed that. I'm tired of Vacation Alliance kind of outplaying the rookies season to season as it has been. So I was happy about that. Were y'all as well, like looking forward to the divide in the house?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was getting to a point where it was boring. So honestly, whenever there's a divide in the house, it's always refreshing for a season because it's like, okay, drama's coming. And not drama that's like years and years of drama with some people, but drama that is actually pertaining to this season specifically. So I was excited.
And it's a good divide, right? Like both sides are pretty strong, and we have floaters. Like we have strong floaters too. Like we have Cara Maria, we have Nehemiah, we have people who aren't necessarily fitting the specific like mold of the two groups. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how they play a role, and will they join a side or will they kind of just be weeded out?
Right. I agree with all those points. So we get to see Kylan questioning Banana's decision on selecting Naya as a target over Cara, because clearly Bananas and Cara, they've always had this kind of back and forth relationship. They're enemies, and I mean, I was pretty surprised that Bananas didn't choose Cara either. But I understand where he was like, well, I just had to pick somebody and I just went with whoever. And technically that hurts Tori's side anyway. But I did understand why Kylan was questioning him. Like, of course, like he's going to try to defend his girl in the house. And you see Theo also defended Olivia as well. So Banana's like, all the boyfriends of the girls are coming to me. And it's like, well, I mean, that's what you get for choosing who you chose. So then I want to talk about this part specifically. So we see, obviously, there's been the storyline about Michelle, Devin's relationship, and how Bananas made that comment to Michelle about being careful when it comes to Devin, because he might be using her for a game. And this obviously hurts Michelle, on top of the fact that he made the comment about Michelle being Devin's soon to be ex, which is still so crazy. I can't believe
iconic.
That.
He did so good with that.
Yeah. Then Michelle comes to the room, and Michelle's pretty much like, the room is filled with people. Banana's trying to hide in the closet again, and she is telling everybody, like, clear out the room. I need to talk to Bananas. And I was like, oh, okay, so this is really serious. And she tells Banana in this conversation, Banana Man, you warned me he was gonna hurt me, and the person who hurt me was you. And I said, Michelle, this is not Grey's Anatomy.
That's what it was giving.
It was given soap opera. It was given a lot. I was like, go home, sis. Ugh.
I do have a quick question though. When did Michelle and Bananas get
so close?
So close. Yeah, because they weren't on. Were they on the same season ever? I don't think so.
No, they definitely did a season together. I think when she did her rookie season.
Yeah, they did Ride or Dies. No, because of Jay and Michelle.
Was it her?
Oh,
Ride or Dies.
Yes, I forgot he was on Ride or Dies. Yes. But they weren't even like that close on that season.
But maybe
they also did the challenge
USA.
The challenge USA too. Yes. Never mind.
I don't know, but they were showing us a little montage of moments between Bananas and Michelle, and I'm like, oh, like there's a friendship there.
There is.
And I was kind of surprised because the way he's been treating her, like, I feel like even the way he approached the whole Devin situation with Michelle, like, he definitely plays it off like he was just warning her, when in reality he was protecting himself. Like, I need Michelle as my ally. That her dating Devin doesn't work for my agenda. So,
but I don't get why these girls, specifically girls, why the girls that are close to him always get so surprised when he like kind of backstabs them. We've seen it with Nani. We've seen it with Camilla. We've seen it with Sarah. We've seen it with so many people at this point. So that's why I'm like, I don't understand why these girls get so close to him and then are surprised afterwards.
Well, I'm going to challenge that because I feel like Bananas is very loyal as long as you're loyal to him. Like with the Sarah situation.
With boys. But with girls, he's very quick to like, if it's not in his agenda, it's not working out for him. So goodbye. With boys though, he's very, very loyal. And that's what I've noticed about him over the years.
Yeah, I agree with that. I can see that. Why are we still talking about Devin? Listen, yeah, I'm a little confused as well. I didn't.
Honey, it's the Devin show. It's the Devin show with a sprinkle of the challenge. Apparently, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of over this whole Devin talk. Like, okay, like y'all made it official while you were at the challenge house. Like, just move on. But anyway, so let's get away from that. We see Olivia and Naya have a conversation, and they're talking about their friendship and how like they've grown to really appreciate each other in the house. And if it wasn't for the LOLs, pretty much either of them would have gladly just left a lot sooner. And their boys, their little boo things, which obviously. And you know, another thing that in this moment, I kind of just like, I appreciate the fact that there's people in the house that are just like chilling, because you can't always just have everybody compete. And I know people have been on LOLs or the ladies of leisure a lot because they're pretty much, or the layups of leisure, as some people may say, because of like them just relaxing when this house is so stacked. But it's like, I personally, I don't mind people just going in there having their fun, but it's just like, I want them to like do something fun. Like I think Niall was the only fun one really for me out of that trio. So that's why I'm kind of like, dang, this is a loss because Olivia is not providing, and whatever Michelle's providing, yes, like she's showing herself to be a stronger competitor than she gives herself credit for, but at the same time, like whatever she's providing, I'm not really fully interested in. Just
It's
so bad.
boring. Correct.
I mean, yes, it's boring, but I will say,
you know what it is?
Of the three, I think the one providing the least is Olivia. I think she's in La La Land with Theo.
Yes.
And we've seen Olivia be a snake before.
Correct.
I'm waiting for the snake to come out again because honestly, that's why she got recasted. Let's be real.
She won't, but it won't come out, right? It won't come out because now she's battling this created image of her that she's now showing her loyalty to Naya, trying to show loyalty to Michelle. Apparently, her and Michelle are like the biggest besties in the world all of a sudden. So you're not going to see that. And again, Michelle's drama is all boy based. Like it's just like, girl, like
Always.
show us your strength. Like,
but
let's
Michelle
go.
is actually winning. That there's a difference.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I agree with that. Tell me what y'all think of Naya now in terms of competitiveness and strategy in the game. So we're gonna touch on this a little bit later, G. Just because I think it'll come up in conversation when we touch on her convo with Jordan specifically. So like we will get back to you on that. I promise you, because it is important. And yeah, Olivia gives us nothing as per usual. I see that as well. But okay, so let's get into the daily challenge and go ahead and take that away, Brenton.
All right. So the daily challenge is called Building Bridges. And just a reminder of the targets for everyone, it's Naya, Olivia, and Michelle. So the rules for building bridges are that players basically climb up a tower, then slide down a pole to a wall with platforms along it. They must ascend the platforms and collect 3 coins along the way, and then deposit the coins in a slot at the top. And then afterwards, players must solve a puzzle, cross the bridge, and then collect and deposit 3 more coins from a second wall. Lastly, they have to swing from a rope into a stack of boxes below, which will then stop their time. Players disqualified from the challenge, if they fall off the course at any time, will stop completely. And then the male and female player with the fastest time wins, while the male player with the slowest time receives a disadvantage at the next challenge. And the female player gets automatically sent into the arena. And if multiple players are disqualified, the last place is basically determined by how far you go in terms of distance along the course. Overall, I thought this challenge was actually pretty fun. Like I think it really showed off what people can do individually. And, you know, it had endurance, it had strategy, because, you know, you could either choose to hop off at a certain point or go down. And if you feel like you could get up faster that way, you can do that. But overall, I think it was nice to see this as opposed to like not popping balloons from a different challenge. But what did you guys think about it overall?
Go ahead, Lena.
I agree with you. I thought it was a good challenge. I did enjoy it. My only thing is it definitely took a very long time to watch the daily challenge. But I thought it was good. I was definitely surprised by certain people's progress. Cara, like I really thought Cara was gonna kill this. But overall, I enjoyed that we got to see individual strengths because some people definitely shined.
Yeah, I agree with that. I actually like this challenge. I thought it was pretty interesting. It did remind me of Super Mario. And I guess we're going on the Super Mario theme because we had like Super Mario Kart last elimination, and now this one is very like Super Mario, like he's going to like try to save Princess Peach from Bowser's castle or something. Yeah, so I didn't mind it at all. I liked that. I felt like because of the fact that we had something so endurance heavy last episode with a lot of running, etc. I wasn't surprised that we got this kind of challenge this episode.
Yeah.
And yeah, we can get into like the placements and such, because yes, I was surprised by a few people's performance. Like you said, Cara. In general, I was just surprised that not everybody got through it. I was expecting people to at least like get past the ladder stage.
I wasn't so surprised that a lot of it was the girls, basically, because it uses a lot of arm strength to get up that ladder, and not a lot of people have that. But with Cara specifically, like Lena pointed out, I think like, yeah, she kind of fumbled, but I think Cara sometimes just gets in her head and she's her own worst enemy. But one person that really, really killed it overall was Bananas. Like, he went first. He put up a really good time. And for the guys overall, they were basically trying to beat his time. And another highlight that I noticed too was that none of the men got disqualified at all. So they all went through it and put up pretty good times. For the women, however, we did say Cara got disqualified, but also Naya, Olivia, and Michelle got disqualified as well because they couldn't climb up the ladder. One thing I did want to point out, though, was during the challenge when Tori was actually going, Cara in her confessional actually brought up like Tori's growth throughout the challenge. She said she hasn't done a season with her in several years. So the Tori that she knew back then, so the Tori that is on the challenge now, like, she's earned her stripes. She's an amazing competitor, and if she gets to the final, she did it all by herself. Like, she earned it. So it was nice to see that, because I think we've been seeing a lot of women against each other and not a lot of women giving each other their props. But what did you guys feel about that?
That specific moment? I mean, I think it's true. Like, yeah, Cara said it's been 6 years since she played with Tori, or been on a season with Tori. So it makes sense that like she's improved significantly, because like she's been coming back on the show season after season, and thankfully giving herself a break, and us, most importantly, us, after season 41, you know. Thank you to Rachel again for putting the Vacation Alliance into retirement, you know, for a little bit. But I thought it was factual, like, yeah, of course. And I do want to highlight this this comment, Crystal. I enjoyed the challenge. Does Olivia need the incentive of having a partner to do good? Because I have no idea why she did so bad, and why Michelle and Naya couldn't even get up past the wall. Yeah, I know what it is with Olivia. I feel like she's performing very bad. She's barely gotten close to anything, and I don't feel like she contributes to her team in any way when there was like team challenges or era challenges. I don't know. How do y'all feel about Olivia's performance?
I think honestly it might be a strategy. Make me look like the weak person, let me float to the final, because we know Olivia can compete. Yeah. Like, she is a strong girl, but I don't think she wants to show out just yet. There's too many girls in the house. So that might be the angle that she's trying to take. But Lena, what are your thoughts? I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think that she's doing that strategically. I think it's really more that she's just not focused on the game. You know, I think that her distractions are much greater than really her gameplay. I think what's happening with Olivia is a lot of what we saw with like Anami or something, where she's starting to get fluffed by her alliance, that really performing individually isn't necessarily needed unless she's like stressed in the sand. And that's when it makes like kind of a repetitive, boring challenger that we just kind of see come back, but not really do anything.
And have we seen, I'm trying to remember, but have we seen Olivia in a relationship on the challenge, or is this the first time that she's been messing with someone?
I think she had like hookups, like with
she was hooking up with Nelson
and stuff.
Oh, but I think Nelson.
But didn't she
But
also
she
have to
wasn't
hook up
so
with Emmanuel?
invested.
But yeah, this is like her first.
Yeah, that was like a side thing.
Yeah.
Theo and her are definitely like they're giving high school sweethearts, to be honest.
Yeah. But I
They're
do
giving
have to
something.
I do have to like praise Tori because I know people like don't always give her the credit she deserves, but I agree this is not the first season that she shows up. I think honestly, since Tori was a rookie, I thought physically she was a really good competitor. Her social game, and I know she gets a lot of advantages from behind the scenes, but I think overall she's a very good competitor.
Brendan,
strategy.
Olivia,
I mean,
strategy?
maybe I'm giving her too much. You know what? I'll take my statement back. I think Lena's statement actually is the correct statement. I'll take it back.
Yeah, I
I'm
agree
giving
with
her
that.
too much credit. I'm sorry. But I do think Olivia overall is a strong competitor. I just need her to tap in.
Yeah.
Keeks, you're muted.
Keeks, yeah.
Not really doing anything. Sorry. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with her. Maybe she is a little distracted, but I don't think it's strategy at all. I just think she can't hold her own right now with this group of women competing. And as we saw, like Jenny came out as the victor, even though her and Tori were pretty close. And yes, I do want to give props to Bananas because he did show out, and I feel like if he didn't have to go back for that coin, maybe he would have beat Kylan.
One, yeah.
Because it was by like a few seconds, right?
Yeah, it was by a few seconds. But Kylan did an amazing job. I mean, honestly, Kylan is doing the damn. Kylan honestly might be one of the best Big Brother players to come onto the challenge. I might have to say that. I might even have him up there with like Amber. And I know some of us are not huge fans of Kylan off of BB and everything. He's annoying, whatever. You might not be the huge fan of him, but I think he's honestly doing well for himself on this.
People find him annoying. I don't find him annoying. I mean, he's good. I don't know. There's no other way to put it. He's smart and he's athletic. So it's like,
Can I be honest?
I don't find him annoying though.
I enjoy Kylan as the underdog with his backup against the wall more than I enjoy him in this season for sure. Because like this, like it's weird, these new like number one, number two alliances he has. It's just, it's giving very like Jordan gameplay, like very just shady.
But I think he's trying to win. Because I think the underdog thing didn't work for him last time. So he's like, okay, now I have to make these alliances and, you know, try to get to the end, which I get. Because the overall goal, which some of these people forget about, is $500,000. So if I got to be your bestie right now in this second, that's my number one. Yeah, in my heart, that's not really my number one. But
yeah, my goal is that money for sure.
Exactly.
I find him kind of boring, but he's a very good competitor, and I love how much he loves the game.
He loves the game, yeah. Yes, underdog Kylan. Yeah, I think he has a better showing here. Definitely. And you know, I'm excited to see how Kylan continues to play this game. I just think he's doing well for himself compared to last season. He was going into elimination aligned. Look, he's still one of the few people that had to go into the elimination more than once this season. So let's see. All right, so let's get into the second half of the episode. Or wait, no, I'm sorry.
Before we move on, speaking of people who are doing well for themselves, the two people who didn't do well for themselves in this actual daily were Theo and Naya. So Theo gets the penalty for the next daily automatically, and then Naya automatically goes down to the arena, which is sad because, again, we love Naya. I think she is very entertaining, but she's also just like a fun presence to have in the house, I think, and you see that when you're watching it on screen. So yeah, I think we were all rooting for her overall. But Keeks, I'll give it back to you.
Yeah, Theo did horribly. I do want to make a comment that apparently Josh went on Twitter and said that he actually got injured. He had to get stitches or something like that on his knee. And I think Theo said that he actually wasn't the last place person, so maybe it was Josh. I'm not entirely sure how that really went down. Because I don't think we really see that Josh got injured, or he said it that we don't see that at all. Production didn't show it. But he actually wasn't at the he was at the elimination, but he wasn't at the bar scene because of the fact that he was getting he was at the hospital getting treated. So I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense why we didn't see him there. Okay, so getting to the second half of the episode and going to the bar, it's time to drink up. Lena, take it away, my party girl.
I love when the challengers have a drink in them, because that's when all of the juice comes out too.
Yeah.
So this is where the episode gets very spicy. We really start off with Olivia is calling out Bananas while the challengers are out. She's doing it very publicly. She's doing it while everyone is watching. She's definitely trying to put on a show. But Bananas chews her out. Like, she's trying to say, like, give me receipts on being a snake. And season 39 is all the receipts you need, honey. Nerys, you want to chime in here? What do you guys think about Olivia's little trying to get around her little snaky behavior?
Well, before we get into Olivia, what I will say about Bananas, I don't know if he's been watching Drag Race or has like drag queen besties, because they're in the same world. So I don't know if he's been getting tips from them, but he was throwing shade. One thing after another, and he was eating them up. He was calling all of those girls out. Like, they had nothing to say.
Bananas is sharp. My man is very witty. He's very sharp. And I'm sorry, but he can deliver a punch. You know when you like can tell a joke and you have to hit it right at the right moment for it to like be like, oh,
he knows
Bananas
when to do it.
Does that flawlessly.
I cannot believe we're giving John like his dues right now, like for being shady.
I mean,
I'm sorry, but my number one decision when we did the ratings are making a lot of sense right now.
Let's not talk about that.
Okay, let's keep going. Anyway, give me your feedback on the Olivia.
Okay, with Olivia, I think, girl, again, he called you out. You are a snake. You had a whole season where you had that moment where you were a snake. Very much so. But like, I'm very confused as to why she was so confused at him calling her out for what she was. Yeah, like, I don't know. Keeks, what are your thoughts?
I thought the same thing. I was just like, okay, Olivia, like he called you the snake or whatever. And maybe, I mean, he was definitely bullshitting her when he was like, no, that was just directed to Michelle. And did I say that to you? He knew what the hell.
Did I say Olivia? Yeah.
But I was just like, honestly, Olivia, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Just prove you're not a snake, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's what you're here for. You're here to redeem yourself, to show the audience that you're not a snake ass person, that you are a great friend. You know, it seems like that's what you've been trying to aim for. And maybe that's what got you so wrapped up. Maybe that's why you're so caught up in focusing on your redemption as a person versus the actual game. That might be the reason why it seems like you're a little distracted. I don't know. And that's fine. But yeah, I was just like, okay, like pet snake. I think Michelle's was a lot worse considering she has a relationship with Devin and he's over here like, you know, soon to be ex. Like, dang, the relationship just started.
Well,
I mean, did he lie though?
I mean, they still together. They still together, so
it's still a short amount of time.
Well, listen, Banana's time as a gardener did not stop because he planted a little bit more seeds for us to enjoy.
He did.
So then he went into Jordan and had a little taste of, hey, Jordan, who's your number one? Who's your list? Naya, are you really on that list? And he definitely got some thoughts moving because Naya, we see her later on in the episode, start questioning Jordan.
Yeah. Yeah,
But not only with Jordan and Naya, who else did he hit?
he hit Tori.
He killed Tori. He not
Mhm.
only hit Tori, he was like, Tori,
She
how about your list of guys? Because you seem to be
But-
very cushioned and you cannot protect all of them.
and
Yeah.
she had nothing to say because she can't say anything. He's telling the truth. Like that is
Honestly,
her gameplay.
honestly, his poison knocked Jordan and Tori out so quickly because both of them had. You know what's so funny? Tori's tell when she is in the wrong is she gets loud. She immediately saying, "That's none of your business." That's when you know she has no ground to stand on and she's falling. So
She
she's
has
trying to
nothing
get
to say.
loud. Yeah.
Yeah, and we saw that. We saw that, right? Like she's just like, "What do you mean? Like, what who cares about this for?" And she's like stuttering to like get the words out. But at least she's defending herself. But because she defended herself, Jordan is just chilling with his dirty feet propped up on this table at this bar, mind you, which like disgusted me. I was like, please get your feet off the dang table. What is going on with you, Jordan?
Nothing.
Have some damn class.
Mm-hmm.
You nasty, dirty feet. Because I saw that they was dirty. They was real dirty.
You saw them stains. Yeah.
You could tell that he was walking all around that bar with no shoes on.
They be doing that at the table too, in the living room. I see them putting their feet up. It's nasty.
But he calls out Naya, and he's like, "Where do you think that you are on Jordan's list? Because you're not 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5. I could name 4 or 5 people ahead of you right now." I said, "Oh." And Naya said, "Okay, wait, hold on." Mind you, Jordan is over here like, "Dang, like bananas. I'm taking the place from you. This is your game. This is your shit. And you're calling me out? Please." But I lived for Bananas calling it out. Like, do what you got to do. And everybody knew this is what Bananas is here for. Clearly, everybody was enjoying the fiasco. You have Cara laughing. You got Rachel laughing. You got Aviv laughing. Derek's a little entertained. They're staying quiet to themselves. And they're like, I mean, yeah.
Derek said it. He was messy, and I'm living for it because it was so good. And you know that Bananas did a really great job because the next few scenes are now all the players scrambling. So we see kind of Rachel shift into this question of who can I get on my side? Because now I need to get my top guys. I know I have Bananas on my side. I've developed something with Jordan. I'm going to move over to Corey, and she wants Nehemiah. So we exchange with Rachel talking to Corey, telling him like, let's work together and bring Nehemiah too, because he's also a strong competitor that can bring a lot and is one of the floaters in the house. So how do you feel? I feel like Rachel's been very strategic this season, I have to say. What are your thoughts about her conversation with Corey?
I felt like her conversation with Corey was smart. Corey's protected as well. He has his people. And of course, like, why not try to branch out? Like, Bananas can only protect you so much because Bananas is now several people's target, several people's enemy. So, like, branch out, do what you have to do to make sure you're insulated. So I felt like it was very smart. And on top of that, people know that she's strong as hell. She's proven herself to be a great competitor. So I'm not surprised if I'm not surprised by the conversation. I was actually like, okay, good to see Rachel also doing what the guys are doing, right? Like, they have their set 4 women that they want to play the game with or go as far in the game as possible. Rachel's trying to do the same thing. She has to build her roster on her side.
Yeah, very fair. Very fair. And again, I was saying before, like, Naya definitely, of course, Rachel played that really well, and Rachel's continuing to play well. And I really expect Rachel to go far in this season because she's being so smart. Jordan untouchable? We don't know, right? Because now I feel like there's been a lot of doubt. And again, Naya, even at the end of this like second part of the episode, really goes to Bananas and asks him, like, are you, like, what you said, was it real? And Bananas tells her, he was like, listen, there's a lineup of girls that Jordan has already had some game with. He's talking to Aviv, Laurel, Rachel, and we all know Tori is his number 1. Where are you on that list? And this really takes Naya over the edge. And now she got to think for herself. So Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So then, like, we get to obviously the deliberation. We already
Yep.
know Naya's going down to the chamber. Kylan obviously we missed this moment, but Kylan and Michelle, they have a conversation at the bar, and pretty much Michelle's just telling Kylan, like, just vote me in, it's all good, you could use me, like, obviously I know you don't want to put like Olivia in there or whatever, or like kind of like I owe you kind of thing. So we already know Kylan is gonna pick Michelle, but in this moment, I want to just highlight, shout out to Jenny for standing up for herself, even though she has nothing to do with the female vote. Shout out to Jenny for pretty much saying, listen, I don't care which one of y'all's going, because y'all have been making me go through hell in the challenge house on this season, and I deserve better than that. And yeah, I don't blame her. Michelle obviously is taken aback by Jenny's demeanor. And I'm over here like, why are you so surprised? Why are you so shocked? When clearly y'all were playing the game for the Vacation Alliance, and she has every right to be upset. It's not like y'all were volunteering yourselves, etc. But Michelle's like, we've been nothing but good to you. For you to act like this, it just feels very rude and unnecessary. How did you feel about Jenny calling that out?
She had all her right to call them out, because it's true. Jenny was literally a placeholder on Era 4. And I'm actually really happy that Kylan was there too, because Kylan had called Jenny into the elimination, when he didn't have to, when he was supposed to be protecting her as part of his era. So I think Jenny is playing it smart. It's an individual game. She has her now developed alliance. Michelle and Olivia, you ain't shit to her. So yes, Jenny, stand up for yourself, girl.
Yeah, I agree. I think, like, overall, Jenny said what needed to be said. Like, y'all were not having my back before. There's no reason that I need to have your back. So, again, I don't care. It is what it is. You guys got yourself in a situation. So,
yeah, pretty much Jenny said, listen, like what Bloody Money said, F Era 4 and F the Vacation Alliance and whoever else wants to be in there. They didn't put her in, right? Yeah, they didn't put her in. It's just how alliances work. However, like if she feels a way about that, I mean, I'm not about to tell Jenny to not be upset about it. Like clearly they could have volunteered to be targets when she was chosen, and they didn't. So I do understand her being upset by that. Or they could have spoken up and said, yo, Jenny, like Jenny's been the target. Like, why y'all keep making her the target? Let's make sure to rotate. But they didn't have that conversation either, it seems like. So again, I don't blame Jenny for feeling the way that she does. Let's go, Jenny. And yes, so then we see obviously Kylan reveals that he's going to pick Michelle. Naya gets a little bit emotional regarding the decision, and she's like, I just want to leave it up to Kylan. But Michelle states that after knowing that she's definitely going in, she's coming in on 1,000, on 100, even if it is against a friend of hers, one of the ladies of leisure. And then after this deliberation, we get to see the conversation between Naya and Jordan. And pretty much that Naya admits to Jordan, or finally has a conversation, because she also says, we haven't really talked game this season. So she's just been following him blindly and trusting him. And Jordan gives her some political correct answer, very pageant answer about who his top 4 ranking or top 5 women are.
Well, no, sorry, Keeks. He doesn't even tell her. He literally says there, he's like, I hope I never have to choose between you, right, Tori, or Laurel.
Yeah. And he said it, like, if it's between him, Tori, Laurel, like that's gonna be a hard decision for him to make, obviously, right? And he's also like, you know, I don't really want to have this conversation, but I kind of have to have it because like I've been called out, whatever. And Naya's reading between the lines. She knows I'm not on his list. Yeah. And Naya did speak about this on the challenge podcast with Devin and Devon. And she says like she had the self-awareness. She already noticed that she wasn't at the top of his list. She already knows that she came into that game. She was not at her best physically, She was just chilling, lounging around, clearly, you know. And at the end of the day, like, she always had Nehemiah as her number one, and Kylan kind of taking Jordan's spot. So Jordan wasn't necessarily her number one either, but she just thought that he would have protected her, or at least had the decency to be honest with her when she approached him to have this conversation. So I do appreciate the fact that she knew she wasn't the best strategically and competitively, like, in the game. Like, she wasn't performing to her best abilities. Just to go back to what G had commented earlier, but I was happy to hear Naya say in that moment, like in the confessional, I know what he's trying to tell me and he's not telling me. And I think that's what is the most disappointing thing of this all, because we have such a close relationship. I love him. I have such high respect for him. So for him to not feel comfortable in telling me this, it kind of just makes me question the strength of our connection, which I understood. How did y'all feel about that conversation and how she took whatever the bullshit he was feeding her?
I'm happy that she read between the lines. You know, I'm happy that she kind of came to the conclusion that whatever relationship we used to have, that's the back burner. And I think Jordan has known Naya the longest. Yeah, but Jordan, in the end of the day, his main concern will always be the money, right? Like, he comes there with one mission only. We've seen him turn on Tori in previous seasons because she's not part of his mission. So it's really just his gameplay. And I think anybody who aligns with Jordan has to know that in the end of the day, yeah, I'm happy she peeped that too, because in the end of the day, Jordan is out for Jordan. And I'm very happy this season is revealing all of that.
You go, Brandon. I do want to make a comment that Naya also said on the Challenge podcast that Jordan said, like, I think it was like something about like partying or something like that. She's like, come on, like, let's have a little night, whatever, something. And he's like, I'm not here to party. I'm here to take y'all's money.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, Jordan has always had that goal in mind. I'm here to compete and I'm here to win, most importantly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's real quick, I do want to read this comment. Jordan ain't trying to have another Anissa situation in the final. Strong women only. Tori, Laurel, Cara, etc. Why run a final with Naya? And yes, and we saw some of those commentaries come up where pretty much he's or it's being said that like he's called her the anchor of their era, etc. So, and I think again, Naya is fully aware of this, guys. Like, she makes comments on the podcast and she's like, I know I didn't come there at my best. I know I was not able to compete at the level that I should have been, especially with the stacked ass cast for the women. Come on. But she did say she plans to come back and like train and be better. And I do hope that we get to see Naya again in the future.
And you know what I have to say before we move on, just to really appreciate Naya in the sense that she did not make this an emotional conversation with Jordan. She didn't say our history and I always had your back like I expect. She took it like a champ. She took it on the chin. She said, hey, just let me know because I want to move. Like, based on what you're trying to do, I need to move the way that's best for me too. Like, right. She really took it great. And again, kudos to Naya for being that girl. She started that girl. She's going to be that girl. When she comes back as a beast, she will show you what girl she can be.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I do think that Naya's capable of just training and doing well. She definitely has to obviously do more math equations because it seems like they're gonna be including that more often nowadays. I just feel like in general, I'm excited to see Naya come back stronger, better than ever. So I do see that in her cards. But this was not her season. And again, she even said it, like, I'm surprised that I even made it this far. Hey Brandon, welcome back. You let us know when you're ready to talk. But you're muted.
No.
What happened? You're good.
Can you guys hear me?
We hear you good. We hear you
sound
good.
Great, Brandon.
Yeah, you sound great.
Okay. Sorry, you guys. I'm having tech issues. You sound a little.
It's okay.
To me, but
Naya and Jordan. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jordan and Naya's conversation and her like owning up to like or realizing that Jordan obviously doesn't have her in his top 4 or 5 women.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I think the conversation like really clarified for her where she was in his placement. Like, and even him like not being able to clearly answer the question, I think was very telling. So if I was her in that situation, I would have just been like, okay, like it is what it is. But I mean, aside from that, I do know that they have a friendship that goes back to the real world Portland, I believe it is. So I don't think there's any bad blood between them, but it's just a factor of realization, I guess, at that point for her.
Right.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on from that moment and let's get into the elimination. Brenda, you still good to touch on that?
Yeah, so the elimination is called fortification. And the rules for this elimination is basically that each player has a stack of 40 crates that are chained together, which they must transfer to their designated square. And to release the crates, though, each player has to solve math equations and enter the solutions to then unlock the chains and remove them. The first player to then transfer all of the 40 crates to the designated area ends up winning. I actually really enjoyed this challenge because I think it had not only endurance, because apparently some of the boxes were heavier than others, so it wasn't an easy go, but you also had brains. Like there was just a lot of math involved, and I think we saw Naya and Michelle use different tactics and strategies. So Naya, for example, decided, I'm gonna start doing all the math at once. Like, I want to get it out the way so that I can get the chains out all at once. Michelle, on the other hand, did a math equation, started unchaining one box after another, moved the box, then did another math equation, and did the same thing going forward. And I forgot who mentioned it, but somebody on the cast mentioned it in their confessional that Michelle's strategy, I think it was Nehemiah actually, Michelle's strategy to him was smarter because it allowed her to rest from not only doing the math equation, but also doing the endurance part. But did you guys like this challenge? Like, what did you guys feel about it overall? I know, Keeks, you had some words.
Some choice words. I didn't
Go ahead,
mind.
Lena.
Well, okay, I didn't mind the challenge, to be honest. It wasn't definitely not my favorite. Not elimination. Sorry, it definitely wasn't my favorite. Because it was like so slow to pick up. Like the first, like I feel like few minutes, I was like, "What's happening?" Like they're both trying to do math. But I think towards the end, when it really was like Naya rushing to move the boxes, that's when the elimination kind of gave some life, and it was enjoyable to watch.
With that, I definitely was bored out of my mind, but I do think that it was a better elimination than last week's elimination. That was just horrible. But I do think that this one was a lot better. I guess because of the fact that it was just like Michelle